Hey, this is Brad from BH Cosplay. I'm giving you a quick rundown on how to put on and assemble the Red Legion cosplay that I've made. First and foremost, you don't want to be dressed like this. I usually wear a pair of lightweight shorts. You can even just do a pair of underwear underneath, although when you jump out of it, it's nice to have something a little bit covering on. So I usually do a pair of athletic shorts and then a lightweight t-shirt, usually black underneath. It's incredibly warm inside that thing, so the lighter weight stuff you can wear, the better. So I also built this cart for it because it is very unwieldy, so this makes it really easy to move it around in a con. Walking long distances in this is right out. You can. I actually walked the entire con floor one time at a fairly decent sized con. I don't recommend it. It's pretty uncomfortable. It's hard to see, so but it can be done. But I would really recommend developing some kind of a system so you can pull it to wherever you're going to wear it, and then get dressed there, and then have a place to store your little cart. Most cons are very friendly about that, so that's what I strongly recommend. It's much easier. So one of the first items I'm going to show you here is this is the arm blade. So this is magnetically held on. So the top piece here, it's powered by a 12-volt battery. The wires are just kind of held on by some tape here. This switch is right here. That turns the lights on. And just real easily the battery can be removed. And then this is the blade itself. This just clips right back on here, and that's that. There is, inside, there is this little metal ring. So the way this works is, before you put this on, I'm trying to do this holding it so the camera can see. I usually slip it over my middle finger. Okay. Just like that, just like a ring. Then when I reach inside, there are little blocks inside the hands, right about here, that you can grip with your fingers. And that allows the arm to stay in place. So you basically are holding the arms in place with your hands. It can get a little bit tiring, but it's you know, you can rest. You put your arms down to your sides and it allows you to rest. And then when you want to take a picture, you just pull the arms up into the shoulder sockets and you're ready to go. So what you do is, to activate this blade, you just basically make a fist. You pull forward with that ring and it activates the blade, makes the blade come out. Then you push the blade back into place. You actually have to let your hand come back a little bit, so you retract your hand back inside the arm, and that allows this piece to reset inside here, and then it allows the blade to catch on the little trigger mechanism I made, and then it's ready to fire again. So you can just squeeze your hand again, fires out. Let your hand come back a little bit, push the blade back into place, you're good to go. You can do that with the other arm on. It takes a little bit of practice, but you fire it, and then you can use the other hand to push it back into place. Again, takes a little practice, but you can do it. Now these boots, they have, the boots are built into it. So these are size 9 boots, so if you have size 9 feet or smaller, then you're good to go. If you have bigger feet than that, it's going to be really uncomfortable. So I don't recommend wearing it. You might be able to do some modifications, but these are built around these boots. You'd have to tear the main boot apart to try to get the boot out. They're actually screwed into the platform. So these boots stop right about here, and then there's about 3.5, 4 inches of platform that they sit on. I went to a cobbler's website and purchased a sole for the boots so that you actually have good traction with these, and they're actually pretty comfortable because this is all EVA foam as a pad with a piece of 1/4 inch plywood on the top as a piece of structure, and then the boot is screwed directly into the top of that. And then as you can see, it's pretty open. You can reach down inside and lace the boots up. Fairly easy. What you definitely want to do, you definitely want ankle support in these, so you want to try to lace these up as tight as you can when you're putting it on, because your boot feet will have a tendency, because of how high you're standing, have a tendency to want to roll a little bit, so make sure you lace your boots up. The chest piece. So the switch to turn on the backlight is right here. Now I don't have a battery installed right now, but underneath this cloth you can see there is a plug-in right here. This is for a standard airsoft battery. So these are the kind of batteries that plug into an airsoft gun. They look like this. There are about 100 different variations, but it's a 9.6 volt battery pack, and they are rechargeable. These run anywhere from $10 to $30 depending on the quality and the power of them. The nice thing is they all run off of 9.6 volts, so it's very similar to a 9-volt battery. That's what this is wired for. So the cool thing about it is it just plugs into this connector just like that. I don't know if this battery's charged. Yep, it is. So you can see, lights right up. And then there is a pocket in the shoulder where this battery just sits right in there. So it's super easy to take these batteries in and out. Again, really easy to put in and out. And then the chargers for these are like $10 at most airsoft supply stores. You can even get them on Amazon. The great thing about those batteries is that's relatively low power draw for the LED lights that I have in this backpack. I've left the lights on for hours and no problem whatsoever. That one battery will last you all day at a con. I haven't had a problem with it running out. Now the helmet. So the helmet, it's actually kind of an interesting design to help give you an extra height advantage, or because the characters, the Red Legion characters, are very tall. When I wear this, I'm 5'9". When I'm in this, at the top of the peak of this part of the helmet, it is about 7 feet tall. So the way this helmet actually sits is it actually just kind of perches on my head, and you actually look out through the grill in the mouth. The eyes, you don't look out through them at all. And the eyes actually light up. So there's a switch on the side, and as you can see, it lights up. Now there is also a switch over on this side, which doesn't power anything. I used to have a voice changer in here, but the speaker sat right here, which obstructed about 80% of my view. It wasn't worth it because it just wasn't loud enough, didn't have a good enough input or output for people to hear me. So I decided that vision was far more important than sounding like a Cabal, so I got rid of it. So there is the switch still there, the wiring is still technically in there if you wanted to mess with something like that, but I took it out. So that switch does nothing. This switch turns the lights on and off, and it's powered by a 9-volt battery that's stored up inside the helmet. On to dressing yourself. Actually, you can get into this thing by yourself. I designed most of my costumes to be able to enter them and exit them all by myself. The reason is because I go to a lot of cons solo, and I need to be able to get in and out of costumes all by myself. And this one is no exception. So the way I start with this is I take the chest armor, turn it upside down, kind of sits on its top like that. And then this is kind of the, I don't know, the skirt piece, I guess. I don't know what it would be called. So it's got a front and a back, and it's actually labeled on the inside, front, back. And then it Velcros together on the side, like this, and it even has some magnets in here. So this is probably the hardest part, is just getting it lined up. So there are Velcro connections on the side. So this is the front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up with my Velcro on the side here, and I'm going to make sure that this is centered in the back, and it basically just lines up with the foam. So the level of this foam, the bottom of this foam, lines up with the level of the bottom of the belt. So then I just give it a pull, and sometimes you have to readjust it to get them to come together. But once you do, you pull it nice and tight. Those pieces come together, and boom. So now you've got this squid looking thing going on like that. So that's all ready to go. Now that I've got that set up, I'll show you the order in which I put this on. So the first thing that you put on are these fantastic clown pants. These are pretty low budget. I threw these together. You barely see the pants when you've got the rest of the costume on, but I wanted to make sure that they were bulky so you could get that effect of this creature with big thick legs. So they're it's kind of a pleather material, black kind of a pleather material, and there are kind of muscles sewn in with upholstery foam. And so there's nothing super magical about it. So they look a bit like rodeo pants to me. So you step right into these bad boys, throw on your suspenders, and you're ready to keep those cows away from the steers or bulls away from the cowboys. So keep them safe. Jump into your barrel when you're about to get hit by a bull. The other big part of this is making sure everything is within arm's reach, especially after you put the boots on. So when the boots are on, it makes it a lot harder to reach things that are on the ground. I've made the mistake of having the helmet sitting on the ground, and then I put my boots on, and then it's like, oh crap, I can't reach the helmet. And so I'm like, I have to take some stuff off. So make sure that you're planning ahead for when you put all this on. So after you put the pants on, come the boots. And they are, of course, labeled on the inside, left and right. Now, for sake of time, I'm not going to lace these up, but you will notice when you're looking at it, there are Velcro connectors on the pants and on the inside of the boots. I just line those up. There's some here. Essentially just go around and connect those up, and those help hold the boots in place. Or, sorry, help hold the pants in place and kind of help give them that volume look for the size of the Cabal. So, same thing here. I've got my Velcro tabs. I line them up. Everything in place, and as you can see, everything looks good. And if you need to do any adjusting once you get to this spot, you can get down and check it out, see how they fit, but everything looks good. Okay. So now once I'm to this point, I'm diving into the body piece. So what I do is I just grab it, and you can just basically put your arms right through the arm slots, and you just drop it over your head. So these pieces flare out, but as you can see that when I put it on, some of it kind of got caught on the pants a little bit, so you can feel it happening. So all you got to do is just reach down and make sure that you just get it out of the way. Okay, so there you go. So there, now the chest piece is on. I'm going to back up a little bit. So you'll notice that my head, my chin is really actually the level here. Now, the straps inside that are on my shoulders, you can actually, they're adjustable, so you can have this be a little bit higher or a little bit lower depending on your body shape. I have it right where it's at.
so that when the helmet's on, I can actually still turn my head. If my head's any lower in the body, the helmet kind of hooks up on the armor and kind of bangs into it, and so that creates a problem. Okay? So now at this point, you want to put the helmet on. Hopefully you can still hear me, but usually you can hear pretty well people can hear you pretty well when you're talking, as long as you're facing forward. The grill allows your voice to come out. So take the helmet, and again, your mouth is actually right here. So you're actually not really talking through the grill, like I said before, but you're talking through this fabric portion. So that's kind of hiding the lower portion of your face. So there we go. So helmet's on. I'll back up. Let me tilt my camera, since now I am much taller. So there we go. So you can see now I've got pretty good movement with my head, and I've designed all this fabric. I've put that in place, so really technically you should be okay wearing whatever clothing underneath, but I really recommend a black t-shirt, because there are times when you can see it, like from certain angles you might be able to see your undershirt, so a black shirt is really recommended. All right. The next item is the blade arm, and the reason the blade arm is first is because you gotta be able to get this ring on, and it's easier to hold this arm using this hand while you get this ring over one finger. Then I basically just lift this arm up, push it on, and then you just kind of learn, you just kind of wiggle it, and you can see it just kind of snugs up in. It snugs up into that joint right there. All right. Then I grab this arm, and this one's much easier to get on. Just kind of do the same thing. Shake it around. And kind of wiggle it to get it into that joint. And boom, there you are. You're now in your Cabal outfit. And so, for taking it off, pretty much the same thing, just in reverse. First thing, and the other thing is, for taking breaks, it's easy to just drop the arms off. You can drop one arm off, pull the helmet off, and then you can kind of helps get some air to your head and to your body. And you can see, if I just rest this arm down here, yeah, there's a bit of a gap on my shoulder, but it's hidden by that cloth. And then I don't have to hold that arm into place. If someone wants a picture, I basically just pull that arm up into its socket, and then really no gap, and I'm back to where I want it to be. And so that's how I can kind of rest while I'm wearing this outfit. And you'll learn the techniques of how to take breaks in this, because you'll need them. You need to stay hydrated. This costume is a sauna. So anyway, take the helmet off, take the arm off, take the other arm off. So, and now as you can see, so I'm walking around, again, these are foam. You have to walk with a little bit wider stance, because if you look down here, these pieces flare out towards the inside, and if you try to walk too close together, the knee armor will catch a little bit. So you have to walk a little wider, but as you can see, I have pretty good mobility. You know, I can't sit down, I can't really bend over, but I can definitely, you know, I can move around pretty good. I can dodge and move, and it's pretty comfortable as far as walking in. I just don't have a lot of real visibility when the helmet's on, and I certainly don't want to be walking a long distance in it. So again, when I'm ready to take it off, I just lift up, and I'm just going to slide it off and set it on the ground. So I find that the easiest way to get this shoulder piece off, instead of trying to shrug out of it, I'll kind of tilt myself this way, and then I'll reach in with this arm kind of through and into the arm socket, and as I'm leaning down, I will push it out off of my head this way, and that helps me get it off, as opposed to having both arms out and just trying to shake it off my body. If you kind of reach in with one arm and get it underneath the shoulder straps and push it off, it helps the whole thing slide off much easier. So, and then at that point, you know, undo the pants, reach in, unlace the boots. Obviously I didn't lace the boots up because I'm just doing a quick demo. And just like that, I am free. So there you go. There you have it. I mean, as you can see, it really is pretty easy to get in and out of. Just a couple of minutes to get the thing completely put on and completely taken off. It's very warm and sweaty, but hopefully that helps you out. Figure out how you want to wear it and how you want to store it.